Hi everyone, I'm Jenna, and today I'm going to be doing a book haul, which I am super excited about. And before we get into my 7 books I'm going to show you today, I want to tell you guys something that I thought about recently, and I decided that I was going to add it to my book hauls, and that is to read an excerpt from the books that I haul, because I think that will just give you guys an extra insight into the books and be able to see how the author writes and all that. So please let me know in the comments below if you like this or if you don't. First book I want to share is a book that I received for Christmas, and that is The Time Garden, A Magical Journey and Coloring Book. Now, this is a coloring book plus novel in one. Now, the novel part isn't one of the main things in this book. It's mainly a coloring book, but there is a little bit of a story that goes along with this, which I think is super cool. The next book I got for Christmas is one that has been going around BookTube, and ever since I knew it was coming out, I wanted it. And that book is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling, and it is the illustrated edition by Jim Kay. And guys, you just have no idea how excited I am for this book. I'm so excited I can't even physically talk right now, because this book is so great. Look at that cover, look at it, it's so gorgeous, and so gorgeous. And some of the illustrations look like this. Just to show you a few of the amazing illustrations that this book has. And I can't wait for the rest of them to come out, because it's going to be so great. Let's move on. Next book I have to show you is a book that I have started reading, and that is The Martian by Andy Weir. Now, don't hate me for this, but watch the movie before I read this book. And I freaking love the movie, and I loved it so much, in fact, that I had to get the book. And I'm on chapter 7, page 68, and I'm really loving it so far. If you don't know, this book is about Mark Watney. It's about him getting stranded on Mars because his crew believes him dead when a dust storm hits Mars. They decide to leave. But lo and behold, which you find out essentially right at the beginning of the novel, that he survives. I'm reading you from chapter 1, and it's his log entry, Soul 6. I'm pretty much fucked. That's my considered opinion. Fucked. 6 years into what should be the greatest month of my life, and it turned into a nightmare. I don't even know who will read this. I guess someone will find it eventually. Maybe 100 years from now. For the record, I didn't die on Soul 6. Certainly the rest of the crew thought I did, and I can't blame them. Maybe there'll be a day of national mourning for me, and my Wikipedia page will say, Mark Watney is the only human being to have died on Mars. And it'll be right. Probably. 'Cause I'll surely die here. Just not on Soul 6 when everyone thought I did. Let's see. Where do I begin? The next book I have here is The Rest of Us Just Live Here, a novel by Patrick Ness. Now in the corner it says, sometimes you have to find the extraordinary in the ordinary. Now this book is about 4 teenagers. And these 4 teenagers are just plain ordinary. And it follows them in time where there's a chosen one or hero that has to go out and save the world. And it doesn't follow them, but follows these 4 ordinary teenagers. And I found that to be very fascinating. And also, it's a Patrick Ness, and he's one of my favorite authors, so I never want to love this book. Plus, at the very beginning of each chapter, there's like a sentence or two about where the chosen one or hero is, and then it delves into a 4 ordinary main teenage characters, which I think is cool and interesting. So here's an excerpt from the beginning, and it goes like this. Chapter the first, in which the messenger of the immortals arrives in a surprising shape, looking for a permanent vessel, and after being chased by her through the woods, Indie Kid Finn meets his final fate. On the day we're the last people to see Indie Kid alive. We're all sprawled together in the field, talking about love and stomach. So the next book I got is Zeros by Scott Westerfeld, Margot Lanigan, and Deborah Brancati. The reason why I got this book is for 2 reasons. The first is it's written by Scott Westerfeld, and he's one of my favorite authors. And 2, this book has a great plot. So this book follows 5 teenagers, and they call themselves Zeros, hence the name of the book. And basically, these teenagers have superpowers. So they are heroes, but not. Because their superpowers don't always work out for them. And I find that very interesting and cool and different take on people with superpowers. And I'm going to be reading to you the first chapter, and it's from Scam, one of the kids' perspectives. More coffee? Ethan jumped. It'd been a long night. Okay? The waitress wasn't even listening. The coffee pot was tipping toward Ethan's cup. Which was fine. The coffee was crap, and he was already wired, but it gave him an excuse to keep sitting there. He spent the last 2 hours hunched in a back booth of the Moonstruck Diner, staring out the window at the Cambria Central Bank. It was right across the street, and it opened at 8. Want anything else? The waitress asked. I'm good, thanks. He drank some more coffee. Still crap. At least the bitter Java gave him a reason to seem jumpy. Nobody would look at him and say, hey, that kid is real jumpy. Must have something to do with the army green duffel bag under his feet. Nope. Nobody would blame the bag. He glanced around the diner. Everyone was wrapped up in their own 6 a.m. thoughts. Nobody was even looking at him. Okay, one girl was looking at him, but she glanced away like she'd been caught staring. So apart from that one cute girl at the front of the diner, nobody was looking at him. Besides, this was the middle of Main Street. Nobody would come rolling in to seize Ethan and his bag and haul them both out into the dawn. Nothing bad ever happened here in Cambria, California, population 500,000, during a college term. The second to last book I have to show you is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. Now this book came out on January 5th, so it's recently new. And I got this because it is written by Alexandra Bracken, and I love her writing, and I loved her in the Darkest Minds series. And so when I heard that she had written a new book, I just had to get it. And this book follows a girl named, I forget her name, Etta Spencer, and she's a violin prodigy. And basically she finds out that she's a time traveler and inherited a legacy she knows nothing about from a family whose existence she's never heard of until now. I just think that's really, really cool. Now I'm going to read you a little bit from the prologue. As they ascend, repeating further from the winding trail that marked the way to the nearby village, the wood opened to him in its pure form, silent, ancient, mysterious, deadly. Nicholas had spent the better part of his life on the sea, or close enough to catch its perfume of fish and brine when there was a good wind. Even now, as they approached the monastery waiting for it to appear through the heavy cover of mist and clouds, he found himself turning back, futilely searching behind the towering peaks of the Himalayas for the hazy line where the sky met the curve of the rippling water. Something familiar to anchor himself to, for his courage disappeared along with his confidence. And the last book I have to show you is Illuminate, which is Illuminate Files #1. So this is part of a series, and this is by Amy Coffin and Jay Kristoff. And this book has been nothing but great hype, and it's the reason why I bought it. Also, this book is told in a very unique way because it houses journal entries and interviews and various stuff like that all through this book, and I find that very interesting. Basically, this follows Caddy, and it's the year 575, and basically she's on this planet and this enemy is trying to destroy it, and her ex-boyfriend and mother get away on these 3 ships, but they're separated, and basically they think they're okay, and then the enemy finds them and tries to kill them, so there's no survivors. And on top of all that, there's their machine, I believe, is not working, and team up with her ex-boyfriend, who she doesn't want to speak to anymore, and figure out what the heck is going on. Memorandum for Executive Director Frobisher from Ghost ID number 6755 4181 2584 1597 987 610 377 error. Inception 1st 2976. Subject Alexander Dossier. So here's the file that almost killed me, Director. I won't bore you with the tally of database plunder, light year jumps, or cute sniffling orphans created in its compilation. Our free already reflects level of difficulty. But this dirt is out there, if you know where to look. So that rounds out all the books that I got so far this year, and I really hope I give some good recommendations, and personally I can't wait to read these books. If there are any that I should read first, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you very soon for a new video. Bye!